The impact of the situation, of the COVID situation, we felt it in March. It started in March on our side. And what happened in March was probably the strongest sales we had since December. So it actually felt like a Christmas, like a holiday period for us. So the sales were very, very strong because of the COVID situation. And what happened is the customer, they went to the store for different reasons. They didn't know when it was going to finish. So a lot of people buy a lot of wine. So what they bought mostly is what we call, great value. So in terms of price, but also the bag in the box. The bag in the box were really important, but that is a trend we saw in the previous years too. But those two were important. We saw also that the customer went through the products, their sure bet. What we call is the product that they buy. They know, they don't have to ask questions. It's their favorite product. So we know the top sellers, they were bought automatically because they were sure what was in the bottle. So they were not going to ask any questions in the stores. And also what they took into consideration is their budget, this discretionary budget, and saying, how much do I have to spend? Because I don't know how long the situation is going to last. So that lasted for a couple of months, but slowly it went back to what we saw previous years. So yes, at the beginning, the average sales price was lower, but quickly it came back to normal, to what we saw in 2019. So that's the thing that happened. But also we know that people didn't want to ask any question to the wine consultant in the store. They didn't want to, you just have to picture, there was a big lineup in front of our stores, like with 2 meters distance. So you probably waited maybe half an hour to get into the store. Once you got into the store, you picked the first bottle that you knew and you bought it and you left. So anything that was more specialty product where you need to have a conversation about what I'm going to eat, what do you suggest, any guidance like that did not happen at the beginning because people didn't want to stay in the stores for a long time. But also what we saw is an impact on on-premise sales because the restaurants were closed. They reopened in summer and they opened again in September and they closed again in October. So anything that was related to on-premise suffered a lot because of the COVID situation. So you just have to think of, at the beginning, people, wanted to get the best price product, a bag in a box, and something that they knew. Didn't want to ask any questions because of the lineup. And also what we have stopped in our stores in any kind of tasting. We didn't want to put anybody in, to keep the safety measure in place. There were no tastings, so there were no real discoveries of new products unless you know the region, unless you already knew the suppliers, or else you stay with what you knew for a long time. So that's what happened in the COVID situation. The price was down, but easily after a couple of months went back to normal. So we have the average sales price the same than in 2019. There's something that happened too in the market in Quebec only. And I think it's important to mention, we had a strike. We had a strike at the port of Montreal. So that had an impact too on the sales. So the sales that happened in the summer. So yes, the COVID situation happened, but we had a small strike that happened also at the port. So it delayed a lot of reception of products. So that had an impact on the stores too. So that is the two main thing that happened during the summer, but everything is back to normal. And the sales, to give you an idea, year to date, the ACQ is at plus 5%. The pandemic happened. They made us look at something, new ways of doing business. For a long time, we focused on acq.com, our online website that we, nourished, put forward for a lot of years. But what happened now is because of the people did not want to go to the stores, the customers, they went to acq.com. So the acq.com it exploded. So everybody wanted to buy online, and they wanted to buy online. And we have two ways of distributing what you buy. You can either pick it up at the store, or you can have it delivered at home. The problem in Quebec is when you deliver at home, you have to be at home because you need to prove that you're 18 years old and older, and they cannot leave the package at the door because it's alcohol. So a lot of people usually do in the past is buy online and shipped to the store. But people did not want to go to the store, so they shipped directly to home because people work from home. So that is something we saw a big increase, is direct shipment to the house of the customer, but also a big increase on ACQ.com. ACQ.com, year to date, to give you an idea, is more than twice the sales that we did the previous year. So it's around 2.5-ish sales that we did from the previous years, 2019. So it's something that the customer really liked, because it did not want to get any risk of going to the stores, but also because of the lineup. They did not want to either the lineup or to be in the safety of their home to do the purchase. So for us, we saw a big increase on ACQ.com, and this is going to be one of our main focus to continue increasing the product offering on ACQ.com even in the future, because we saw that there's an interest for the customer that don't want to go to the stores, but to purchase online. So that is one of the things that happened. We also, in terms of products that we saw is, like I was saying, general listing, because of the price, that was quite important, because ACQ.com used to be it used to be more specialty, I would say, products. A bit skewed toward specialty, but because of the COVID, there were more generalistic products. So products that people used to go into the store only to buy, but now they went through ACQ.com. We also saw a big increase in anything that is organic wines. So that was quite an interest for the customer, but also anything that is natural wine, orange wine, that is something that we saw buying online, but also in the stores in type of trends. So ACQ.com was very important, high traffic because of the safety measure and the lineup, but also the direct delivery at home because people did not want to go back to the store to pick up their package since they were working from home. The Portugal category is doing really well. It's doing really well for the last couple of years, and I think around 5 years or more is doing a significant growth. So what has happened since the pandemic is it hasn't slowed down the growth of Portuguese wine, red or white wines. There's no change on that. So just to give you quick numbers, year to date, we're at 7% growth, both red and white combined. And for the last year, complete year, we're plus 9%. So the growth is still happening, it's still maintaining. I believe there's a combination of why that is happening. People know more the type of products of what Portugal has to offer, and also the price segment where you can find Portuguese wine is it's where the customer want their products at this moment. So we have seen a stable, the average sales price for Portuguese wine, both white and red, stable compared to 2019. So that is nice to see that, in a sense that it hasn't had a negative impact on Portuguese wine, especially when we have more in general listings. So that has helped. Maybe more on a specialty side is going to be a bit more difficult because of the tasting side and the discovery side. But we have seen our specialty products sales increasing since September. So probably, thinking spring, summer, more difficult, but back to normal in September. So if that is maintained, we shouldn't worry about it too much.